Alright, so what we're looking at here is a large variety of keychain multi-tools, and I'm sure this is what some of your keys look like out there, but I basically just wanted to go through a lot of these multi-tools and try and choose which may be the best one. So let me start and just take all these off this key ring here, which I did just for demonstration purposes. So the goal here is to choose the best tool to put onto your keys in order to minimize bulk and maximize usefulness. So let's just start up here at the top. This is a tool that is pretty versatile, but I don't really like it. It's the Gerber artifact. And the main thing I don't like about it is this lockup. That it offers this... Well, I guess the first thing that's wrong with it is its size. It's the largest key tool here, and just on your key, like in terms of weight and size and bulk, and it's got this curve in it, so it adds a lot to your keys, which some of you out there may not mind. But I pretty much want to have the smallest and most useful tool possible, and I guess it's a little bit of a trade-off there. But really, I'm mainly concerned with like having a light keychain. So right off the bat, this one is huge, but it does have a really cool feature, which is an X-Acto knife holder blade. So that locks, and then you can have on your keys a really sharp blade all the time, which is nice, I suppose. The main problem with this lockup is it's really stiff. It's a little bit dangerous. There is no thumb screw for you to, like camber out this mechanism. So you have to kind of like be really careful with it. And then right here, there's a half lock notch, which is cool. So you can have it on your keys and then I guess cut some tape on a box that way. But if you want to take it all the way out, you got to be really careful when pushing it, because there's no serration or knurling on this inside. There's pretty much nothing to keep your thumb from just slipping up into the blade. And I have cut myself with it like right out of the box. Not badly, just, you can cut yourself if you're not really careful. One thing you can do is you can turn the blade around the other way. It's a little hard. To change the blade, there's like a tab that you pull out on, like right there. So you pull on that with your fingernail and you can slide the blade in and out, it locks. So you can turn it backwards. But I guess then it's just more dangerous to cut yourself when you're closing it that way. So, I mean, it's safe to carry that way, though. You really can't cut yourself. It's not as safe, but, I don't know. Take that for what it is. This pry bar is pretty nice. You can use it to pry things, and it does have a bottle opener and Phillips head screwdriver. Pretty much all these tools have bottle openers, so you're definitely never going to be short on bottle openers. When it comes to keychains, that seems to be a popular thing to put into any keychain tool. So yeah, that's what it is. It's fairly useful, really versatile, has a lot of options, but it's also maximized in terms of bulk and danger with this X-Acto knife. You got to really be careful when you're using that, especially when you got keys hanging off it. It's a little hard to change too. So just be careful if you decide to buy this knife with it, because I'm not normally a person that's worried about cutting myself. I think people worry a little too much about cutting yourself all the time. Like, knives really aren't tremendously dangerous unless you're like, an idiot. But this one in particular is pretty easy to cut yourself with, and it's a sharp knife, so watch out for that. Moving on, this is a Boker titanium pry bar. It's pretty cool. It's titanium. It's light, about as light, but I mean, this could be stainless steel, and in this size it would also be super light. But it's kind of cool to have titanium, like a titanium tool. Everybody likes titanium. It's like the mithril of the EDC world. So it has a glass break tool, which I've never used. I assume it works. It's just pretty much a pin here that's guarded by these two rubber O-ring washer things, and then I think you pretty much just like slam your fist into the glass and it'll break that way. So that's cool. Pry bar is pretty nice. This one has been sharpened slightly by my boy Proto G. This is This is his keychain tool. He let me borrow it for this video. He sharpened it because he uses it to cut box tape and stuff like that. So it doesn't really come with an edge out of the box. Not that this is an edge, it's just basically a burr that he created on a grinder. So it's cool. It has a bottle opener. It really sucks at opening bottles. It's a little finicky, but you can open a bottle with it. I wouldn't want, and you can take it off your keys because it has a carabiner. So this is pretty easy to get on and off of a key ring that way. This is the area that you put into the bottle cap. You just kind of like hook this on the back side of the bottle cap and then pry up that way. So it works, but it's a little hard to use the bottle opener. Not really. It's whatever. It's there. Mainly this is a pry bar, and you can use it to cut tape. So it's cool. I really like this one. It's titanium. It's expensive. I don't know how much it costs, but all of the keychain tools here and this one, these are all under $10, between $5 and $8 mostly. But you can find them all on Amazon, free 2-day shipping. This one's most expensive. I'm not sure. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. So, cool though. I like it. But also, in terms of bulk, it's the longest tool on this list. And so it's pretty bulky, but titanium. I don't know. Moving on, this is the one that is probably the least bulky tool. I actually put it on a key because that's how it comes, or that's how you're supposed to use it. It comes with like a little fake plastic key to show you that it just kind of hugs a key. It basically adds nothing to this key. It also kind of adds nothing in terms of utility. It's got a nail file and like a bunch of little flat parts that you can use as different sized flathead screwdrivers. It has this, which it says is a tweezer, which I don't think works. It's got a bottle opener. This is for cutting. It pretty much doesn't do anything, but it also doesn't add any bulk. So just as a nail file, it works, and it's nice for that. I would say you can keep this. You could add this to your keys and add another tool, and you're not going to see any difference in bulk on your keys, one or the other. So I like it. I basically just added it to this list because it doesn't really, contribute to bulkiness. So this is like a bonus. You get to, this is +0 to keys. So you can keep it on there. Use the bottle opener in emergency, or the flat blade screwdriver to tighten up your glasses or whatever, or, nail file is what I use it mostly for. This is a cool one. This is made by Chenil, I don't know. It's got like this little like beveled sharp edge that looks like a gut hook. It's really not very sharp, but it's more than adequate for just ripping tape on a box, which is nice. Bottle opener, obviously classic. And then this is a little pry bar, so the idea is that you can kind of get under stuff and then lift them up that way. It's made out of stainless steel. I like the finish on it. It's like a stone washed style finish. It looks nice. It's really small. You could add this to your keys, and if you don't want to add any bulk to your keys, this is a great option. I think this is the most expensive one here, other than the Boker. But it's just stainless steel. It's nice. I like it. It pretty much explains itself just by looking at it. So, anyway. This is the one that I actually use currently, and I may switch this out, but it's the Leatherman bruiser. I really like it because it's about the size of a regular key, a little bit thicker. It's stainless steel, also has a cool stone-washed finish. Bottle opener. This is supposed to be a 1/4-inch hex driver, and then this is the flat blade / pry bar. And you can use this to rip tape on boxes too. There's like a little hook they add here for that. Basically, all I ever use it for is prying stuff, like paint can lids or things like that, and opening bottles. I've never used the 1/4-inch bit driver because I have real tools on me almost always in my car or something like that, or in my garage. But I do use this a lot as a pry bar, and it's really good for that. Super beefy. And I've pried things that are... I've used this for pry tasks that are too large for this bar. So this is a really small bar. So really you're just using it to do things like open paint can lids. But I've like pried up nails or like, things that are apart that are fastened together mechanically using this, and like a pliers on the end of it as a lever. And I'm surprised that I haven't bent it. So it's really beefy, really sturdy. It's stainless steel. It's about as strong as something this thick stainless steel would be. And I like it mainly because it's really small and it doesn't add any length to my keys because it's as long as a regular key. Minimal bulk. But yeah, it's not like a blade or anything like that. This is probably the most worthless thing and disappointing thing on the list. It's a scissor, and I bought this because I thought it would be awesome to have like a scissor on your keys. You know, that comes up a lot. Like maybe you want to cut something, like some heat shrink tubing or a package or something. I don't know. You cut things with scissors, it comes up. But this is like the cheapest and most pathetic scissor they could have possibly put on this. And what I expected from this was a scissor like you would get on a Swiss Army knife, you know, which is like a great little scissor, or like one that's on a Leatherman. Great little scissors. But this one is pathetic and nothing like that at all. And nobody should buy this. Basically, the hinge is there's so much play. I don't know if you can see that in the bolt or the pin of the scissor, that anything you try to cut, it just separates. See if I can demonstrate here. I don't have anything. There you go. Here's some paracord. So paracord. Will not cut this. It just, see, they're not sharp at all. In addition to not being sharp, there's no precision in the hinge at all. So it won't cut the hair on my wrist. So there you go. You can use it to trim your nose hairs and not worry about cutting yourself because it's too dull. It is absolute garbage. Do not buy it. I don't know if, I don't have a lot of experience with SOG tools. My understanding is that they made great tools, but this is terrible. Don't buy it. It's awful. It locks. This part of the base seems nice, and you could put something in there that's good, like a knife, which is coming up. But the scissor version of this key is absolute trash, and I'm going to return it. I bought it on Amazon. It's awful. Don't buy it. Terrible. Terrible, terrible piece of shit. This thing's really cool. The Swiss Utility key is called. It has a little knife, which is reasonably sharp. You can use that to cut some rope. It's also serrated. Clean your fingernails with it. Cut boxes, whatever. It's great. It doesn't add much bulk to keys. It's very thin. It's probably the thinnest tool here. It's even thinner than like this Leatherman bruiser. Or no, it's about as thick as a Leatherman bruiser. Whatever. Full disclosure, I have owned like a lot of these in the past. I do really like them. They have a Phillips blade screwdriver, bottle opener, flat blade, very small flat blade right there, and a regular knife. This hinge here always breaks. Always. So, full disclosure, I have used these in the past as like my main knife, like when I was in high school and stuff. You know, like I had one of these, and this was like my only knife that I carried. I didn't have another pocket knife. This was my only knife, and I used it for that, and I liked it, and it was great. But I'd been through like a dozen of these. They always break here. And actually, I don't own one anymore. I bought one just for this video. And I still like it as a tool. It's great on your keys. Doesn't add any bulk, but it is going to break. That's a ticking time bomb right there. That little hinge mechanism. It breaks right here. This little pin will break off. So they're nice. I wish they would update the design to make this beefier, but it will break. Last but not least is this SOG knife. It's really nice. Very sharp. It's not... No, it is shaving sharp. Look at that. Look at that. Shaving sharp. Right out of the box. That was a patch of fur that was on my arm a moment ago. So shaving sharp right out of the box. Really nice knife. Hard to believe that this came from the same company that made this scissor. Though if you do read these, the scissor says China on it, and this says Taiwan on the blade. So I don't know if they're making the whole thing in Taiwan and China, or if they're just making like the blade. And it doesn't really matter. What matters is that this is a nice little knife. It's shaving sharp right out of the box, and it's about the size of a regular Swiss Army knife, like the little small ones that you put on your keys. So I really can't recommend this enough. I think it's a great little knife, especially to have on your keys. These frames are about the size. They're a little bit thicker than a regular key, a little bit heavier. But if you don't mind the added bulk and you want to have a backup knife that is like worth a damn, I think this is a great option. It locks. this is how you release it. There's this little, like, you know, I don't know what this lockup is called, but it's this style of lockup that some of you have probably seen before. And then the knife really, it just locks very positively. You're not going to bend it, or you're not going to get past that mechanism by forcing it. Easy release. These do come in other colors. Black, brass. I think there's like a brushed stainless color, and I have seen them in pink and blue on Amazon. I just went with the brass one because it's nice. So great rundown. Probably my favorite tools on this list are the knife, the regular SOG knife. This is not my favorite tool. I do like this true utility thing because it doesn't add anything in terms of bulk. And it's really hard to beat the Leatherman bruiser for me, but you could just as easily switch that out for this like Chenil one if you want. These are about the same in terms of functionality or usefulness. You know, runner up, I think this is great if you want like an all-in-one inclusive tool and you don't mind the extra weight. This is as good as two tools put together. I guess you could say that these two things will equal this Gerber artifact. If you know, these two things will equal the Gerber artifact. You know, you could also get all the same functionality out of this. Just know that it will break. I have had many of them, they break. So, I don't know. I guess I'm getting a little rambly here. So, takeaway is, those are the tools. That's what I think of them. Anyway. I will say that these like pry bar teeth and this thing definitely dig into your palm when you're turning this screw. So I suppose maybe you don't want to use this to drive drywall screws. Probably be alright for like a machine screw or something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some painage. Okay. Oops. I'm done with that. You could do it. If you really had to, you could do it. But get a screwdriver instead.